ain't gonna get that diabetes. This gonna be sit-down comedy tonight, y'all. Yeah, dog. Now, y'all know that menu tomorrow ain't got nothing. This woman done came up here and put on this diabetic 2 lips. It says they don't got no ribs over there by the meat part of it. Miss Amber, they ain't, where she at, Miss Amber? They ain't listening to you, girl. Ain't been 15 minutes and they talking about ribs and turkey legs. Ain't none of that even on here. Oh my God, now you know it's dark times, y'all, when we laughing at folks with diabetes. You used to have compassion for people with diabetes. Ooh, they sick, they got the cancer. Don't laugh at nobody, they got the diabetes. Now we got flyers. And I'm on there with AI and 2 syringes. I'm like, what? 2 syringes? You peeking out the curtain? I said, Lord have mercy. So we gonna get on y'all folks. I got my notes right here, y'all. I ain't got the diabetes, but I'm old and I'll forget some stuff. So if you have something about menopause, let me know. I'll be up there sucking with a hot fan.
I got you.
Shout out to my type 2 and type 1 diabetes people. Wait, did you check your A1C before you came in? I don't want nobody's sugar getting low. And you start tilting that chair because I ain't picking you up. Okay? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing I'm looking over here. But let me tell you something. They really now have made diabetes sound real nice. They really have. It's diabetes and A1C and type 1, 2. Back when my mama had it, in the 80s, it was the sugar.
That was it.
She came from the doctor. She said, y'all need to talk to y'all. We gathered around. What, mama? What want you? She said, she leaned over. She said, I got the sugar. I said, the sugar? Tell my mama got the sugar. Now, honey, I about leaned over. But she has some of the best tools and medical devices with the sugar. They still pricking fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Baby, that contraption right there, that thing will hit your finger like a guillotine. I go in her room, blood splatter, all on the wall. She hopping in the chair. So I told my brother, I said, let me check you out. My brother named JoJo, God bless him. The sugar got him, y'all. The sugar done took my brother. It got him for real. Rest in peace. That's why I say we in dark times, man. Nigga died 40 from the sugar. Cause he loved the sugar. You ain't seen mama had the sugar, we was upset, and you gonna eat the sugar too? So I told him, I said, let me check your sugar. He probably about 8, 9 years old. Baby, I took that little clicker and I tore his finger up. About 4 or 5 times, he hollered. And I said, don't holler. Cause if you holler, you gonna get the sugar. So he held it and I tore him up, baby. That finger was sore. I used to torture him, man. I know he couldn't stand me, God rest his soul. And that blood pressure cuff, y'all still got one of those? Baby, that thing is brutal. That's what makes your blood pressure high, is that cuff. By the time they get finished pumping that sucker like this, and I used to tell him, let me check your sugar. He's like, again? We gonna check your sugar every week. Make sure you ain't got what mama got the sugar. I put that blood pressure cup right here, baby. And I got to squeeze her. I said, don't holler. Because if you holler, you gonna get sugar. And I dropped that ball on the floor and I pump it. And that sucker said, pow! I said, you ain't got the sugar, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. Let me look at my nose over here. We don't do like we do in church. Lean over and tell somebody, you got the sugar. Don't whisper, if you're with your man, whisper in your man ear, you got that sugar. Don't that sound sexuality? Don't you want it now? You got that sugar, baby. Tell them how it was called the sugar. They call it diabetes now, all that old stuff, but honey, back then it was the sugar. Now I'm gonna tell you these stories. Y'all think I'm lying, but it's real. So if you ain't going by what Miss Amber said about this type 2 diabetes, by the time I get finished telling you these jokes about these folks I used to work for and be around that had the sugar, you're gonna stop eating all that stuff. So I worked for this lady, God rest her soul. The sugar got her. Took her out. COVID didn't take her out. The sugar took her out. So I'm working for this place. We're gonna call her Miss J. This is a true story, y'all. So I'm working for Miss J. Miss J walking all through the office. Now, mind you, I'm gonna describe Miss J to you. Miss J, tall, regal, educated woman. Used to work up at Ohio State up there in one of those high departments in Canada, honey. And she was just well versed in all type of, politics and the arts and all of that stuff. And I noticed Miss J used to walk through the office and honey, she kept falling all over and carrying on, halfway hitting the wall. You know, you see somebody stumbling, you be like, whoo, I didn't fall. So Miss J, I found out, had the sugar. And the worst thing about having the sugar is you don't want nobody to tell you nothing. So Miss J, when we would go to the Sam's and get stuff for the residents on the little corporate credit card, we buy oranges and you know the stuff to get your sugar back up when your sugar hit low. Her sugar was out of control, y'all. It was out of control. So one day, she's sitting up there and she acting like Michael J. Fox because she's shaking. And I said, what's going on? She ain't got no Parkinson's that I know of. And it don't come on you like that. I think Parkinson's, she got the Michael J. Fox face. And so I said, oh, the sugar low. So before she go to the meeting, I said, Miss J, get one of these oranges. I don't need an orange. I got my itinerary. I said, Miss J, go in there and get you one. You can't tell her none because she's smart, but you got the sugar. Baby, next thing you know, I'm in my cubicle. Here she go. Somebody call the ambulance. So here go me. You know, black folks knows me. Who they talking about calling the ambulance? I see him at her office. I said, what's she over there doing? What's going on? I go over there, baby. That sugar took her down. She over by the file cabinet looking like the capital letter K and Times New Roman. Huh? She like this. Looking like that picture off of Good Times, but he go like this, but she like this. Full all up. She done blacked out from the sugar being low, because she can't get regulated. Here come the fire people. They come on in there, get her up. Guess what she ended up eating when they got off the floor? That same orange. And she done crept back up like you just want to let it down like the letter K on that floor. So baby, I looked at her, I was upset. Next time, now this is a true story, y'all. Y'all gonna quit eating that stuff. Y'all gonna listen to Amber, go on over there, take your medical card, whatever you get, and talk to that woman. Do what she say do. So next time, we had a resident council thing, people voting. Hear her tell God. She over there getting a little woozy. I said, did you eat anything? I'm fine. So I'm taking the people, signing them in, they voting for who's gonna be their next community council person, da-da-da. Baby, I look over at her, she looking about goofy in the face. She blowing spit bubbles. I said, now wait a minute now. I know you got the sugar, but you better not put that pre-civil rights spit on me. I know that much. Honey, listen here, because we about to fall out of the way out. Now, I let my grandbaby, little small baby, spit, but go ahead and blow a spit bubble next to the person sitting next to you and see if the whole fight don't break out up in here. Right. So she blowing spit bubbles. I said, what's wrong with you, fine? Yep, but the sugar low. So I called her husband. I said, well, old girl over here. I didn't say old girl. I said her name, God rest her soul. I said, she over here blowing spit bubbles. So he said, go in her purse, get the insulin. First of all, I'm a transportation coordinator. I ain't signed up for home health. Y'all don't pay me enough. I think I was making $12. Struggling, and I was a temp. I didn't sign up for this bull crap. So I go on her purse, I got the little insulin. He said, take many cc's or whatever, stick it through her clothes, she'll be fine. I hit it, she slumped. I said, oh God, I done killed her. I said, where the exit at? Wrap this. Ain't no more voting. I'm getting up out of here.
Oh my God.
Baby, we called the ambulance. Here they come. I got the company van, got to follow these folks over here to University Hospital. Go back there. Y'all know, mind you, I'm gonna take this part. She kept wrecking cars. Kept wrecking all the little cars at the job. So they told her, you can't drive your car on business and you can't drive ours because you keep tearing up cars. I don't know what's going on. She drag racing or something like that? What's up with that girl? I don't really know what's going on. So we over at the hospital. They said, you can go back and see her. I go back there. She's sitting perked up, honey, like she just wasn't blowing spit bubbles pre-civil rights. Like I said, it was bull crap. She's sitting on the side of, well, did you get the balance and this? And I'm like, girl, you just was looking goofy in the face about an hour ago. She had a shoe off. I looked down, half that foot gone. On the driving foot. I said, she been running into poles because she ain't got no toes.
Oh
it was a half a foot.
Oh my
and
God.
She kept running into poles because you ain't got no toes. And you didn't put no cushion in that shoe, so you think you could stop the car. Then she tried to hide it. I said, I seen that nigga. I you stumbling and falling all on the walls and carrying on. You could at least, as much money as this woman was making, you could have got a wooden foot, you could have got a gold foot, whatever little foot you wanted. Baby, I was about fit to be tied with that woman. God rest her soul. Y'all better quit. Y'all better listen to Amber. Get your medical card down over there. Change that menu for tomorrow. Change that. We're going to have fruits, blackberries, put some olive oil on it, and a slender piece of salmon. That's what we're going to have tomorrow. Y'all menu just got changed. Menu just got changed. Because we're going to keep these toes because y'all ain't running into no poles. Don't drive by me. And she stayed want to go somewhere. Tell me, Sherry, did you want to go? Not today. We can get out the office now, baby. I'm trying to get home. Because I know you ain't got no foot. Or you got half a foot. And baby, one thing I ain't gonna do is God done show me you got a piece of a foot. And I'm gonna hop in the car. And then when I wrap around the pole, I want to, child, he done already told she ain't got no foot on that driving foot. No, baby, I done got mad just thinking about that job. And here I'm taking care of this woman. She already knew what the deal was. Honey, but it was another friend. And this for my sister. Matter of fact, when I get out of here, I'm gonna really let her have it. I'm gonna cuss her out. Because I had to go pick up some furniture. And let me tell you something. Now, this guy, his name D. Rest his soul. The sugar got him down. Sugar got him too. But something about I had $50. Let me tell you something about black people. You got to keep a discretionary $50 to $100. Because you can get anything done in the black community with $50 to $100.
Yes.
They deliver your furniture for about $50. Somebody making, doing your breaks, about $100. I got $100. Deliver something, I got $75. We're gonna stay in that range. So I said, girl, I got about $100. I need to get this living room suit. And I thought I was doing something because I was able to go to Ash. She said, well, ask D to go get it for you. I'm like, all right, then my sister the type, she don't tell nobody business, right? So he come pick me up. Now mind, let me tell you something. He got a big F-150 something, or 250 something. The one you gotta step up on the plank and get inside of that sucker. But he ain't got no leg. And I ain't know he ain't had no leg. Because my sister don't tell nobody business. Let me tell you something, I'm all about discretion and hip and all that good old stuff. But baby, you need to let me know if this fool ain't got, if that nigga ain't got no leg. Now I don't got a problem if you don't got no leg. That's your business. That's between you and that diabetes and that sugar that took you out. But had this leg, the leg that rests over by the door. The one by the door, you cannot have that one. The one he drove with wasn't no leg. And he had a weak Timberland on that sucker. And so they had cut his foot off at first, and then they went on up to like the knee thingy. And so he put the little thing down in there, put a big old weak Timberland boot on, and we driving down 75 South. I can't make this up. In the fast lane when it's raining.
Oh my God.
I'm about to die trying to get a living room set. A living room set, I'm about to die. And he the type of nigga. What am I supposed to say that?
You
He the type of nigga. Want to talk to you? Ever wrong with one of them niggas be like this? Yeah, and where we going to? Where the thing got? You don't turn around. We already sliding the hydroplane. And I didn't know he didn't have no foot until we start talking. You know, you get in the car with somebody, they start telling one thing about sick folk. They love telling all their medical conditions. I take that. The man told us back there, I take a water pill, five They raised mine to 10. You know, they're telling me my knee messed up. I got to go to physical therapy next week. They love talking about what's going on with it. So he started telling me his business. Yeah, sure, they cut my foot off. I said, dang, that's messed up, man. You all right? Stand up. Can't keep a nigga down. You know, they heal up right. Then they went on up to the knee. I said, God dog, nigga, they took your knee. Yeah, they took all that. I said, dang, nigga, it's good you still here, player. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be trying. I said, which one was it? He talking about my driver. I said, hell no. Let me get my doggone seatbelt. Matter of fact, I need to sit in the back because at least I hit the back of the chair with impact. And he steady. I said, D, look for it. Now I got it. No, you don't, because you ain't got your leg. Right. You ain't got this road if you ain't got your leg. We got out there, baby. I said, he done lost a limb. And I'm trying to get a living room suit. I can't even get no loving on the living room suit. Because he ain't got no leg. Baby, we flew out there. Got that living room suit. That's the best furniture now.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best furniture.
Yeah.
But when I got up out there, I said, somebody give me a cigarette. I needed a Newport, because you know black folks smoke Newport.
100 or short.
Give me a Newport. Hit the pack on the bottom and a glass of wine. I called my sister. I said, you raggedy heifer. I knew she ain't like when we was little. You know how like a little something now. I said, you raggedy heifer. You ain't tell me. Why you ain't tell me that nigga ain't had no leg? She told me, ain't my business to tell him. It is when you put me in the car with him.
Right.
Don't be suggesting that junk.
Right. Right.
Man, I got saved. That was some good furniture. God rest his soul, honey. The sugar took him out. Sugar took him out. So y'all can not listen to Miss Amber right here if you want to. You be up there running into poles because you ain't got toes. Or you gonna lose them limbs. Ride around and don't drive by me because insurance too high. God bless y'all. Don't eat all that stuff, y'all. God bless you. Don't get the sugar. Peace.